Okay, luckily I can pre-record on my phone as well. So,
yay, magic of technology.
We are 6 minutes into a review of Black Panther, and this happened during me and Laura reviewing Early Man, where it just simply decided to crash. And it did on your phone as well, didn't it?
YouTube was acting up, yeah. So
Okay.
I don't know, maybe it was YouTube just being stupid today.
Right, like, I haven't come across this problem yet. Didn't even know that was a problem that could happen. But apparently it is. Apparently that is a problem, and it happened twice tonight.
Thanks, Trump. Fuck it, I'm starting it.
So, anyway, I guess I'm glad that happened. Like, if it was gonna crash, I was hoping it had been toward, like, Early Man, where it happened towards the end, when we'd already pretty much said everything there was to say about the movie. Fuck, alright. Well, let's sum up the first 6 minutes of what we were talking about beforehand. If you saw it in the live stream, well, you'll hear it again. So anyway, this is a very damn good film. And one cool thing about... It's so weird. We're just... Well, we say the same jokes again. Oh, man, that landed before. So, one cool thing about the movie is being shown a lot of what's going on in Wakanda in this film. How you're introduced to a lot of the different technological advances that they have, and it's even really cool when they bring in Martin Freeman later, who is reacting to seeing all of this stuff for the first time. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff there. Their weaponry, their healing advances, obviously the suit and things like that, and it even comes into play into certain action sequences that happen later on in the film. There's a really cool car chase through in a town in South Korea, and there's like a hologram car that T'Challa's sister is using to drive while she is in Wakanda, and the car itself is driving through South Korea. There's even a thing later on where a dude is flying a jet that is modeled after jets that he himself used in his past, so he's able to also kind of do that with this hologram vehicle that he's using. And all of that stuff is really, really cool. And the movie gets really provocative as well, and it also gets political. It's interesting to see both sides of the arguments that they're having in this film, which is, why don't we extend all of our technological knowledge and knowledge of weapons and defense, why don't we extend that out to people who live beyond Wakanda, help those who are living around us and share our knowledge of all of these advancements. And so there's that side pitted against, well, we can't do that, people would know too much about us, it would be used for evil, they would try to conquer us, and there's all sorts of different reasonings why they wouldn't want to do that. And it's interesting to see those sides talk about that issue, because you can see both sides of that argument. You can see where each one is coming from. And to go into where the villains come into play in this, we were talking about this beforehand, which is that the MCU has had, so they have been hit or miss with some villains in the past.
It's Loki and everybody else.
Pretty much. They're good ones, like Loki, of course. Vulture. Vulture was cool.
I'll give them. Yeah.
I'm sure that there's a couple of other ones.
I just can't remember them or their names or anything like that.
Ironmonger, I liked him. I mean, that's going back to the very first one.
First Iron Man?
Yeah. So, what the villains in this movie are great. The villains in this film are, honestly, they are the most compelling thing about the film, because they are kind of this argument about Wakanda really just summed up in these character forms. And Michael B. Jordan, repeating this joke again, but Michael B. Jordan, it's great that Michael B. Jordan is in this film, because We've seen him play Creed's son, and here he is playing Clubber Lang's son.
Yes.
This is a damn good MCU film because it is easily the most Rocky 3 out of all of them. I don't know.
So
were there any other jokes that I had that I could
not,
repeat
not
again?
Not really. It was just because we're going into how just the two sides of a coin between these two, between T'Challa and Killmonger.
Yeah.
As far as, both of them have valid reasons for why they think they're right.
Yeah.
And you can see both sides.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Killmonger wants to take. Killmonger is in the camp. Let's share our knowledge, but let's share it with all of our brothers and sisters who are downtrodden, so they can take over the world, and then Wakanda can become an empire, which of course is a little too far for T'Challa, because T'Challa is leaning towards sharing Wakandan knowledge with the rest of the world. He looks around. He was outside, after his father's death. He's looking around at this world, realizing that there's a lot of shit going on in it that Wakanda can make a positive impact on, but they would have to make themselves known, because as of the start of the movie, they're hidden. Nobody know they under the guise of a third world country. Nobody knows their technological advance. They're way more advanced than the rest of the world. But yeah, it's interesting to see just that juxtaposition of T'Challa, who's right there, Killmonger, who's a little farther over there. Both have valid claims, and it drives the plot of the story very well.
And the villain is humanized.
Yes.
He is. He isn't just this cartoon or this two-dimensional character that's there for plot purposes, which is good, because some of the things that he does you've seen in other Marvel movies, like how he becomes like it's Black Panther fighting the bad version of Black Panther, and you've seen that before many times. It's done better here simply because the character of Killmonger is better written than a lot of other Marvel villains.
Right.
What they do so well with the Killmonger character is that you get a sense of a lot of his backstory. Everything that was leading up to him becoming as power hungry as he was. Everything that's leading up to the really kind of brutal things that he does, you understand it. You see how this person got to this point.
Right.
Like it makes sense. And so that was really cool to see, and to get a really, really cartoon villain in there who is also great. Well, that's why we have Andy Serkis, and this Claw is what should have been Dr. Claw in the Inspector Gadget movie. Would have been a way better film, much scarier, much more brutal.
Yeah,
he's great.
It was like they said, okay, to Michael B. Jordan, just we want you to be maniacal, but toned, cool maniacal. We want you to have a reason. Hey, Andy, just have fun. Just go fucking nuts.
He was having a blast.
He was, man.
And he was great in this. Like, he was funny. The movie is very funny. There are a lot of really good one-liners thrown around in the movie, which you expect that out of one of these movies, but it doesn't go too far in the way of that. It's never like an outright comedy, or it's not like one of the comedy Marvel movies, but there are one-liners in there, and for the most part they work.
And most of it's played with like good friends, or the T'Challa and his sister.
Oh, they're
like
great together.
The natural, just how you would react with a sibling, how you would joke around with a sibling. It's that kind of, not forced. It's very natural.
Yeah, the chemistry between the actors was great. Yeah. They really did feel like brother and sister. The amount of just absolute shit they give each other, like, that was fun to see. They're both damn good in the movie. And again, to get into the part where the champ is challenged, again, really shows the importance of the Rocky 3 influence in this film. I'm just saying, like, of recent movies that have an influence of, like, a little Rocky 3 in there, maybe a little Rocky 4, easily a better film than Cars 3. I know that's a controversial opinion. Maybe to that guy in the comments for 1517 to Paris, that crotchety old man who yelled at me. He's like, "Oh, you didn't like this movie, but I'll bet you I'm gonna make a prediction. You're gonna love Black Panther."
Yeah, because it's not a shit film. How about that? These people can
What a
act.
prediction! Wow.
Oh shit, I said these people. Oh fuck.
Like, what a fucking prediction. I'm gonna make this ace fucking prediction, man. I'm just throwing this out there. You're gonna like Shape of Water way better than God's Not Dead 3. Just throwing that wild prediction out there.
Goddamn heathen.
You know what I was thinking about this during the climax of this film. In about the last 20 minutes. The climax of this movie is like a really, really good version of the climax to Phantom Menace. Like, think about it. Like, like, honestly, more so than like the Rocky 3 jokes I was throwing around. But like, there's a few different action set pieces going on at the same time. One of them is very, very land-based, that involves people getting kind of thrown around a lot and a lot of hologram shields. Another one...
Oh, yeah, the fucking... those fucking drones.
There's that. And also, even... there's the fight with Black Panther and Killmonger, and there's even a part 2 where they're... like, separated by this transparent thing going through them. I started thinking about that a little bit and was like, wow, I'm not knocking that against the movie at all. I was just thinking, like, this is a way better done version of the climax of that film. Because at least in the case of this, it's not stupid, for one, and also it feels like there's stakes and that it's all part of the same movie, that it all kind of flows into each other a little bit better.
I love the Phantom Menace lightsaber fight. That's the only part of that movie I love. But now that you said that, I'm like, yeah, they do. They're on a bridge fighting. The train goes by, it separates. I'm like, fuck. Yeah.
But better, but way better.
Overall, yes. Overall, I'll still take that. I'll put the lightsaber fight and their fight together, but the rest of it, yeah, the fucking drone army and the Gungan bullshit.
I'm just saying the Gungans had no place in this film. I really don't know why they were in Black Panther.
Fucking Jar Jar everywhere.
I just don't think, like, I know Disney owns both of them now, but I really didn't need those universes to collide.
Music gonna kill me some black folk.
Can you imagine if at the end of if they set it up at the end of Force Awakens, where they go to that planet that Luke is on, she hands them the lightsaber. What if it panned out and it was Earth?
Fucking M. Night Shyamalan. What a twist.
Ew.
That would be something M. Night Shyamalan would do, though.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything you didn't like about the movie?
I don't know if there's anything I didn't specifically like.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the movie is... the detractors are going to hit on the politics of it, and I can't wait to see what Trump says about it.
He ain't gonna see this shit.
No, but he's gonna talk about it because he can't fucking help himself.
I mean, look, it's one thing to, if you don't like the movie, fine. Like, not everyone's gonna like it. Right. Like, I'm sure, if you got some valid reasons for not liking the movie, okay, fine. Someone's not automatically racist or anything if they don't like the movie. I'm sure there's plenty of people who don't, but when it gets down to like you've gone far beyond disliking the movie, and now you're just talking down or belittling and being condescending towards someone's anticipation for it, or even what they liked about it. Like, then then you're just being a creep. Like, don't be Ben Shapiro. Be a fucking human being. Like, there is a lot to love about this film. Namely, of course, the characters, the action sequences, really how the city looks and everything in the film. And some really hard-hitting moments, too. Killmonger's last scene in the movie, in particular. Not to give anything away, but it's certainly one of the best acted moments from a villain in one of these films. The movie, if I had anything to say, if I had any kind of critiques towards it, it is one where I thought the villains were more compelling than the protagonist no, and that's fine. Like, I mean, some of my favorite superhero movies do that, but my favorite scenes were always the ones that involved the villains.
Yeah.
Other than that, not to say the heroes aren't great in the movie too. They are. I was just certainly very excited every time the villains came back in the film. There's some like kind of obvious green screen work that goes on in the film.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the entire city of Wakanda itself, while beautiful, is, you know.
Don't you know that if you're a fan of this movie, that means you think Wakanda's real? I mean, come on. Jesus. Christ.
Oh, man. Shit.
I've been telling Dave for years, yo, man, you stop talking up Batman movies so much. Gotham City ain't real.
Fucking Gotham is real.
It ain't real, man. It's not.
It's dark, it's gritty.
It most certainly isn't across the lake from Metropolis. Or maybe, I don't know. But, no, I recommend the movie. It was packed in there, man. Like, and we went to a pretty late screening on it. Like, it was packed. People were loving it. It is a damn good time. And for a movie that's about 2 hours and 20 minutes, it goes by at a pretty quick pace. It's an entertaining film. Like, when it got to the last, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, well, I guess it is just about over. All right. I didn't realize we'd been here for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Okay. Of course, maybe the last 15 minutes were the ending credits. It could have been. I always feel sorry for the theater employees in a movie like this because they gotta wait till normally they could usually go in there while the ending credits are playing to like sweep everything up.
Out, yeah.
Not in a movie like this.
Not a Marvel movie. No.
Yeah, not a Marvel movie or even a superhero movie in general anymore. Because even in the DC ones, we still wait just in case. Anything else to say about the film?
I don't know. I would just say to those who get pissy about political things in movies, one, art is subjective. You're never gonna be able to completely remove yourself from a project you're making, and you shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
The project should be part of you. It should be part of your viewpoint. And there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of oppression that gets out there, that, especially with Ryan Coogler, he knows how to politicize without being heavy-handed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't like that, that's fine, but don't get all pissy at him because he wants to tell his story, and a fantastic story it was.
And you shouldn't go into a movie like this anyway and not expect some kind of provocative moments in the film or some very real world moments. Comic books do that.
Yeah.
Comic books do that. Music does. Movies do. We've all seen it done poorly.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not saying that it can be terrible, because it can be. It's just saying that with stuff like that, like with any art, like you're saying, comic books, music, you're not going to separate yourself from that, and you shouldn't, because that's not art. It's not an objective thing. Oh, here, art should make you feel, art should challenge you, art should widen your perspective. And in this movie, if you like it, it should widen your perspective a little bit more. There's some tiebacks to with Killmonger talking about slaves, talking about oppression of African Americans. You know, it's that kind of stuff. You know, it's gonna be in there.
And then Medea showed up in the film.
Oh my fucking god!
Well, we did get a trailer for Uncle Drew in front of this.
What the fuck is that?
What in the shit? Wow.
That might be Shaq's best role in years, though. So.
Well, you saw Grown Ups too.
No, God damn it! I was just thinking that, motherfucker. You had to bring that movie back up.
I was this close.
Movie.
I was this close to going like, well, you didn't see, and I was like, oh wait, you did.
Yeah, I did fucking see that movie. God damn it.
You did review that film.
Ugh, fucking deer piss. I still remember that scene as vivid as day. It's still fucking stupid. Made me thinking that after this movie. God damn you. God damn it.
Man.
Fuck you, Uncle Dave. Or Uncle Drew.
Drew.
I don't care. Uncle Dave.
Drew.
Uncle Drew.
Oh my God, Uncle Drew. Oh man, that movie's gonna be the best film of 1996. It's gonna be the best movie. Where you ever see the basketball movie where Dennis Rodman has to coach a bunch of dwarfs?
Excuse me?
Oh, that's a movie. It's called The Minis, I think.
No, it's not.
I'm dead serious. It's one of those movies where it's got a scene where like one of them tries to dunk and misses, and he lands in the garbage and his legs are like.
Do they have a scene where they toss the dwarf up to the basket?
Probably. That might be the cover. Anyway, that looked a little more dignified than Uncle Drew did. Oh my God, Jesus. Uncle Drew. That's like, God, it's like showing a trailer for Soul Plane in front of Boys in the Hood. Like, okay. Well, we got some better trailers in front of this movie, though.
Wow, yeah. That would have been quite the juxtaposition. Just, this is, yeah.
I saw the trailer for Uncle Drew a couple of days ago and didn't realize until tonight that this is theatrical.
I don't know why it is.
This is going to be on the big screen. Springfield never got Phantom Thread, but you bet your ass we're going to get Uncle Drew.
I just know. Just why are they doing that?
Any final thoughts about Black Panther?
I liked it. I mean, Marvel has continually produced good work. Mm-hmm. This is no different. I mean, the subject matter is different. It's a different direction than probably what you're going to be used to with the other Marvel movies, but it's very good. It's very well done. Ryan Coogler is a fantastic director.
Yeah.
I hope he gets more recognition. I mean, he should have already had more recognition, but I think this is going to be that movie that puts him over the top.
Yeah, you hit on something too, which will be my final thought on the movie, is that like this movie does feel like refreshing. It doesn't feel like I'm watching something that's just following like the same Marvel or superhero formula that I've seen time and time again. Even if it's something that's done that can still be done well. Like, I enjoyed Doctor Strange, but it was certainly following a formula. This one,
I think the last two. I mean, because I think Thor Ragnarok was the same way. It was not. It was not the same type of Marvel movie you'd seen in the past.
No.
And some people didn't like it. You may not like this movie for that same type of reason, because they're not going the same way. Because for a while they had kind of they had a similar directing path.
Yeah.
You know, we go with this director who's going to do this. Now they've had a couple directors the past couple movies that are coming in from a different perspective, fresher viewpoints, and it's very, very well seen in the output and what they put out on the screen. It's different from what we'd seen in the past, and it is nice.
Yeah, and I wasn't a huge fan of Ragnarok, but I agree with that. It didn't follow any kind of it didn't follow any like really familiar formula that you've seen in a lot of these movies. It was certainly, trying to be refreshing. A lot of it didn't work on me, but I'm in a small boat on that, honestly. I didn't think it was a bad film at all. It wasn't a bad movie at all. I wasn't huge into it. I like this movie better. I like this movie a lot better. So yeah, go check it out. I highly recommend it. I was about to say thanks for a bunch of everyone in the chat for watching. Anyway, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're at youtube.com/stonedgremlinproductions, and you'll get alerts on when we go live, when we post videos up, and follow us on Twitter as well at The Cinema Snob. And come see us March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at Wizard World Cleveland. So thanks a bunch, everyone, for watching. Bye.